Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully my everything's all good. On StreamYard, things are usually a little wonky for some reason. Whether it comes down to the audio, I had to use a different camera. Not happy about it, but we're here. We're live. We're rolling along, and that's all that matters. Happy Sunday to all of you guys. Hope you had a fantastic 4th of July weekend. It was long, right? Felt good. Good weekend. Nice long 4-day weekend. I don't not for everybody. But for myself, it was a great time. Had a fantastic 4th, one of the best 4ths in a very long time with the little man. And it was great stuff. So happy to have all of you here. I figured, we're in a weird time right now. We're in the middle of the heat. I feel like this time last year, we had a lot of momentum on the recruiting trail. We had a lot of cool things to talk about. And we are just in this stagnant time when we're sitting around, we start thinking, we start picking up, we start pondering a little bit. And we as Gator fans and as anybody, we just you go into a dark place and we panic starts to set in. And I see it on Discord, I see it on Twitter. And it's bad when you've got family coming after family, right? Because people don't appreciate what's being said. You got negative Nelly. Look, man, I think at the end of the day, we're all just a little uncomfortable with where things are at. And I think we should be able to have a safe space for everyone, for people to come talk about what's going on. It happens all the time in the chat. Did I spell the title wrong? What did I spell wrong? Oh, Pules. Good looks. I can't spell for shit, boys. So here's the thing, boys. Call links in the description. All right, so call him and let's talk about it. Let's insult my spelling and let's get this thing figured out. I'm spelling it wrong, and I even know I'm spelling it wrong. I'm still spelling it wrong. I figured, look, I figured I'd give us an opportunity to chit chat, allow people to come in, express their frustrations. I know some people are kind of preaching patience. This is a perfect time for Army Sniper to come in and vent his frustrations because I would love to talk to Army Sniper right now. He calls in, he's always positive, always calling the call-in shows. He was somebody that was very optimistic and believer in Billy, and he's completely off the train. And look, the reason why I want to bring him in because again, he was somebody that was fully bought in, and I think Billy, his length is or his leash is getting shorter and shorter, if you will. And look, I'm not panicking over the recruiting class of where it sits currently, but you see what's going on around us. Again, it's that FOMO. You don't like where it's at. We got a first caller in there. Let's just dive into that. No need to hear me talk. I talk all the time. We got Charlie Kevers.
Yo, I did not expect to get in here this fast, bro.
We're dialed in, baby. Let's go. What's going on, man? How are you, man? Nice to meet you.
I'm good. Nice to meet you, man. Honestly, I gotta say, firstly, huge fan of the show, bro. Huge fan. Like,
Appreciate that, man.
You're the first person I go to after we lose to Kentucky, and I'm crying in my soup. I need some, I need some resurgence when I come here.
I don't know if that's good or bad. That we're the place of sorrow, but I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm glad you.
No, we're leaving those losses in the past, man. We're leaving those losses in the past.
Hell yeah. What's up, man? How you feeling?
Yeah, so like honestly, I've been a Gator fan like my whole life, and it's just crazy to see this progression of how we've gotten to this point. And I think that's the main, like if you don't have context on this situation, then everything will be more frustrating. And I think that's my main feeling is that we need to have context when it comes to Billy's tenure. But there are some frustrating things. Like I think the most frustrating thing for me is the fact that this recruiting class, our last year's recruiting class was number 3 at this time last year. And now I don't know where we are, but it's not good. And it just gives me this feeling like it's extra do or die for Billy this year because the recruiting class isn't doing him any favors. And if he comes out of the gates and loses to Miami, then he's in real deep trouble. And I don't want to see Billy get fired because I like his vision. Like I like the way that he sees our program going forward, but I can't let go of the coaching blunders and the lack of preparation that I've seen in past games. I think that happened early on in the season, and we kind of got it, more sorted out towards the end of the year last year. But that's the only thing that gives me reservation about us having a breakout year was the fact that on game day, it didn't seem like we were all there.
Look, man, I think it's kind of where everyone's at, right? I think we had a bumpy into the season and then a bumpy into the recruiting class. The class kind of grew some legs in the portal because we brought some of those guys in, right? That transfer portal, the Grimsleys, Marcus Robinson, and then Jason, the linemen, which didn't count towards the recruiting class, but in a way they were part of that recruiting cycle. So we
Right.
had a little bit of momentum. We're excited. All right, cool. We'll forget about last season. Let's go knock this thing out of the park with recruiting. Let's see what Billy still got left in the tank. What this guy was brought in the first place. And like you said, it's not it's nowhere close to what it was. And again, here's the thing. It didn't end like we wanted it to. So we kind of said today, I said, look, if it's shit now, but ends great, that's fine. But the problem is that the teams that we have to face week in and week out moving forward, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, they're eating. They're out there in the top 10. They're in a safe, comfortable place. And we're gonna be playing catch up, come towards the end of the year. Now, a great season can allow for a big catch up, but all the chips are in. Nobody wants to play all in all the time, and that's where it feels like we're at.
Right. Well, I have one question for you. I want to know if did you hear about that announcer? I forget what his name is, but what that announcer said about the Florida fan base, about us being toxic.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know how you felt about that, because I see the truth in what he's saying, but I also think it's kind of a pessimistic way to look at our whole history as a football program.
Yeah, we talked about it on Wednesday's show. I think his take on, if you take away the two eras of coaches, what is Florida football? Well, if you take away the world champions of America,
Right.
what is the U.S.? So that was a very weak and just outlandish take. I think his take on Florida fan base being toxic is accurate. We are a toxic fan base, but it's a fanatical fan base. You're going to have that toxicity when things are not going well, and it hasn't gone well for quite some time now, and it just keeps doubling down on it, not doing well. But with that becomes, when things are going well, we're the greatest fan base in the country. So
Right.
that's what that comes with the territory. I don't look at it as a negative. The shot was taken to be a negative shot, but any true passionate fan base has its toxic sides when you push them to that level.
Right. I mean, we might see that side out of Bama here in a couple of years.
Very much, very much. I was literally thinking that as I seen that. I said, look, Bama will be just as bad if things are not on par with what they have been for the past decade and a half.
And I think the frustration really comes from, and this is what really bothers me, is seeing the Florida brand, how the Florida brand has taken such a dive in the past decade. I mean, I just see these articles and like, oh, top 10 stadium, top 10 this, top 10 that, or whatever, or all the media coverage. It's like, it's frustrating to know that as Florida football, to me, is on the level, maybe not of the Alabamas of the world, but I think of the Georgias, of the LSUs, of the Ohio States, of all, we're in that top tier. And to see our brand get disregarded and just almost counted out so quickly is honestly super frustrating. That's what bothers me the most, because I grew up in the days of pride. Like the first games I watched were when we were winning championships, and that mentality, that gritty mentality, and how our defense was just killer every year. Even through the Muschamp years and the McElwain years, our defense was killer. So it's just like, see, it's really the weak defense that also bothers me too. Like if the defense doesn't get better this year, then I think it's time to move on, because it's been utterly despicable, the defense over the past couple years. I mean, have you ever seen us fold like a wet blanket in your whole time watching Florida football? We've always had good defenses.
Always. I feel like we could always rely on it. That kept us in it, and we never had the offense to really sync up with it. And now both of it's kind of abysmal, which is, depressing. Look, I think that goes back to that toxicity we were talking about. Like you said, like our brand is up there. We as Gator fans look at it as like the brand, the logo. However, the perception of that on the outside is changing very rapidly. Whether it's true or not, perception eventually becomes reality. Like the Brandas of the world and other non-fans, it's like, look, that brand doesn't scare me anymore. I'm not threatened by it. And we as the fans, like, look, don't come at us like that. But we're losing wind in our sails because we're not being able to back up. And I think that's where it's coming from too,
Yeah. This is the last thing I'll say, and I totally agree with you. We have the best roster we've had under Billy Napier's tenure. And I think that if you look at last year, right, you erase the Arkansas and Missouri game, which everybody likes to do. I know it's not a realistic viewpoint, but you erase those games. You look at the fact that we were the youngest team in FBS. You look at the fact that we've returned, like, you look at the safety room. I mean, we went from 2 true freshman safeties to now having, a couple. I don't know if DJ Douglas is a senior or not, but I know Asa Turner's a senior. I know DJ Douglas is up there. We have Jordan Castell coming back his second year, Bryce Thornton coming back. So we've gone from a barely 1 deep safety room to a pretty solid 2 deep safety room. And I think you've seen that progression across the board, across the roster, that it's come with more depth, more talent, and more experience. And to me, that's the only way we're going to get through this grueling stretch. I'm looking at 6-1 and 2-3. If we can do 6-1 and 2-3, I think that's totally manageable, right? I'm looking at,
I agree.
in the first
I
7
agree.
games, Tennessee. That's to me the game that we should lose. In all likelihood, if I had to say which game should you lose, Tennessee. And then the next 5 games, I think we could give Ole Miss a run for their money. I think we could
LSU,
give LSU a
FSU,
run for
or
their money, and
Florida State.
FSU.
Yep. No, I agree.
Exactly.
I think you're spot on. I think you're hitting on all points with the talent. There's the other half, I think, that don't believe in the play calling, and I think that's what we're left unknown. But yeah, I think this team. If this team, because again, this is not a shot towards Belly. This is the perception. If this exact team was led by literally Lane Kiffin and Dan Lanning, the optimism would be much higher going into this season than what it is currently. And that, again, that's not a shot towards Billy. That's just we're going off track record. Nobody's feeling too confident on what is to be expected. Nobody's arguing the talent of the football field. It's there.
I mean, I don't think to me, it's not really the play calling, because every breakdown video I've watched going back to the games, they're not picking apart the play call. Even on defense, they're saying, look, this defense is set up in the right defense. They're in the right spot. It's just about execution. To me, it's not really the play calling that's the problem, because I guess evidently, I mean, unless we're doing a triple lateral minus 60 yards play. But I think it's just the game time preparation. Like, are we shooting ourselves in the foot? Are we winning the I don't know what it is, like what's it called, like the 8 minutes or something, that 8-minute stretch in the beginning of the first quarter and the beginning of the third quarter, where the game, like, you can turn the tides of the game. Like, are we winning in those logistical areas? It's not really about play calling to me. It's just about, is the team ready to go? Are we going to shoot ourselves in the foot again? Because I don't think I can watch another season of us shooting ourselves in the foot.
No mistakes. Yeah, I agree. Charlie, man, I appreciate you calling in, big guy. It was a pleasure talking to you, man.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, man.
Be good, man. Go Gator. All right, quick little super chat, and then we'll hop in. I'll keep going. Brando is an old head in the decline of his career, poking Florida fans to boost his mentions, a band-aid against the inevitable decay of time. I feel like we live in that world right now where, just the crazy, outlandish comments they just get traction. Everyone's just click farming. I sent a video to the professor the other day of that guy. You probably always saw this guy thrashing the young man that passed away for the Vikings, like trying to attack this guy's character. Very, very weirdo behavior just to get clicks. Uncle Lou's in here firing up the chat per usual. I love that. Let's get in here. Hollywood, what's going on, big dog?
What's going on? What's going on, Gator Nation?
What's going on, man? Talk to me. How we feeling?
Man, I'm a little 50-50 on both sides. I've been through the turmoil with Nate. We all done been through the turmoil as Gator fans, man, the past few years. And it's always kind of been pointing fingers at either his play calling, maybe his special team. It's been a clusterfuck. But I will say this year I'm going to go in confident because, one, we got the talent. 2, we got some coaches that really, they come from programs that don't fuck off. Like Ron Roberts, you don't have a career that long in college football bullshitting and stuff around. You see how fast Florida got rid of Dan Mullen. We holler about Billy Napier getting up out of there, but Ron Roberts got a really good length of history on him at leading defenses and really pretty much got a solid foundation. Then
Sure.
Number 2, with the portal additions, it brings attention to us like, hey, man, maybe transfer that. We got Ricky Pearsall in the draft. We got Elijah Badger. If Elijah Badger turns out to be a top draft pick, potentially we get those wide receivers for DJ Lagway. So, this year is really important I don't think Billy's going to be out of there if he only wins 6 or 7 games. I think he'll be out of there if he wins 4. We go 4-8, 3-9. He's definitely fucking gone. But they don't want to lose DJ Lagway. And then people always keep talking about DJ Lagway, but we never really mentioned LJ McCray. The number 1 defensive lineman when he got recruited too as well in the same class. So I say Florida is actually deeper than a lot of people think. last year, run a guy off. You can't just coach him hard. And,
Mm-hmm. I'm losing you, Hollywood. Cutting it out, boss.
Nick Saban did over and over with like quarterbacks like AJ McCarron and stuff like that. Even when Jalen Milroe make a mistake, he'll chew you out on the sideline. That was Nick Saban's thing. But Graham Mertz is like the first year guy. He's very experienced. I want him to, follow my lead as the head coach, because I could lose my entire football program if he doesn't buy into what I'm buying into. So Graham Mertz already being able to situate that situation, that Graham Mertz throw for 2,900 yards. I'm talking about try to replicate Tebow his best way against Missouri, putting the shoulder down. That shit was awesome. It fired me up. It shows that the players believe in what Billy has. So I'm going to sit back and not be more of a know-it-all than the players that are there in the system, than the coaches that are there every day putting in the time. Because it's summertime right now. It's camp. They're busting their ass. They end up sweating every day. Do it 2 days, so maybe doing 3 days. We don't really know the ins and out of the program. But if I can look on TV and I can see players still fighting in the last 30 seconds of a game that they really wasn't favored to win at all, I believe that, Billy's cooking something up special.
For sure. So ultimately, you're not, look, that's why I love doing the call-in show, because you read the comments, you get this, but you get the call in, people call in, and you get a true pulse. So you're still bought in. Are you concerned with the recruiting class, though? I think you're all in on the season. How's your feeling on this recruiting class thus far? Time to panic?
Not necessarily time to panic, because we saw what happened to us when we had the number 3 recruiting class. That could happen to another class. We could really raid somebody. Depending on our season coming into November, it's going to kind of determine where we should panic. Now, and if we come around in August and we're already sitting at 1 and September, we're already 1-2. By the time we get, the Texas A&M to our 4th game of the season, then we should be looking around like, oh shit, this is not really impressing recruits. Because I don't really think Florida is in a bad position with recruits. We don't need to have like a number 1 class this year. With the athletes that we have, we can fill a few gaps and potentially get a top 10 class and be set for the 25 season and 26 season. If we get a few of the top name wide receivers we already done missed out on, maybe we can potentially get them to flip before National Signing Day, and those type of opportunities, and maybe some top safeties. DJ Pickett's still out there. Hilton Stubbs just committed the other day. Shit fucking sucks. He's an in-state rival. But we still can flip them, because who knows? Hilton Stubbs probably be watching TV. If Gator go in there, in the swamp and watch Miami, now we're looking at a whole different spectrum of what athletes want to actually come play with DJ Lagway, because you don't know how long Billy's going to be there. So you're guaranteed telling yourself, I don't know how long DJ is going to be there. So he's an attractive asset to bring more talent to Florida. But if you're not actually going to win those games, and I say September, we should know, hey, we're 3-1, we're 4-0. We're okay. We ain't got to worry about the recruiting class, because we're going to fall in line. We're going to be able to, if anything, we'll be able to grab some experienced transfer portal pieces, to add into that room for DJ Lagway.
What's interesting with Miami that people aren't really considering, because again, you got to argue that Mario is similar in the same spot of what Billy's in. The heat isn't as loud, but the success has been equivalent to what Florida has been. He's recruited very well every year. That's the only difference I would say, and is recruiting well again. But they get stomped by Florida, have a bumpy road in the ACC. We could see Mario on his way out, and that's a top 8 class with a lot of top tier talent that Florida was in on. So there's, like you said, there's a class you can start picking apart right there. So look, I think you're right. I think that's where kind of the whole situation is. I think people are frustrated on being, hey, all the chips are in on this season, but that's the bed that has been made, and we got to lay in it.
Now, I'm a realist. I do agree with the frustrations from, the Florida fan base. I see the bullshit on Twitter, having to constantly, go back and forth with Miami fans on all your programs, crap, stuff like that. When it's not true, when Miami had 1 more win than us, pretty much, and then went to a bowl game and stuff like that and got crushed. So, I literally can go back and look at 2021 when Miami played Alabama and they get killed on the field by like 40, 30 points or something like that. Florida hasn't really had a game where they were out of, until the 4th quarter. Even though we played bad against LSU in some of the beginning minutes and some of the closing minutes, that 2nd quarter and 3rd quarter was really our strong suit, and we made it a game all the way into pretty much the 4th quarter. And it's the same thing with Georgia. I think we shocked a lot of people with that first drive. Even Kirby Smart said it. He was like, Eugene Wilson, that guy is a guy that I would like to have on my team. So, and then also seeing that Trevor Etienne was able to transfer out and go to Georgia. He's being talked about as one of the guys that's going to get a lot of, burn at running back out there. or get mixed in and still get playing time, that shows that we have the talent.
Sure.
And now that we're starting to build in with the coaches, you heard more about the coaching this offseason than any other offseason since when Billy became the coach at Florida, is that we got Will Harris. I mean, he comes from the Chargers, come from the NFL. I don't think many NFL teams are going to put somebody on payroll and it's just going to be a bullshit. You're going to have some type of resume behind you that can stand for the work that you can put in for that, the program. It's the same thing like I was mentioning with Ron Roberts. So I think along with the additions, our coaching staff was young as well as our football team was young. But you look at Miami, it got more of a cockiness to him. And I don't really think it's going to work. I mean, Cam Ward, he's probably going to put up good numbers this year, make it to the NFL, probably be a first-round draft pick, maybe a second-round draft pick.
Seems like more of a me guy than a team guy, though. And
right,
I think that's,
he got a cake sweet, schedule to go on. So you're actually finna play in front of 100,000 people. I mean, they say it's 97,000. Florida always packs that bitch. I'll be in there sometime. It'd be 100.
Yeah, they oversell it for sure.
So if it's not Kyle Field, if it's not Neyland Stadium, I'm not really confident that you got more fans in the stadium than Florida. But just to go with the confidence, you guys haven't played in a real game scenario other than yourselves the whole entire offseason. Now you're going to be Cam Ward's going to try to escalate his play to play at the speed that the SEC plays at the strength and the caliber the SEC plays at. Who knows? That may increase the amount of mistakes that he's known for making. His resume is athletic guy, but just like Anthony Richardson, rushes his decision-making and makes a lot of mistakes. We saw Anthony Richardson basically throw the game away against Kentucky in 2022 and turn around and be a fourth-round draft pick. So I'm not saying that he's a bad quarterback.
Sure, the talent. I think you're dialed in. The talent is there. Yeah. And again, that's not going to argue that he may go off and be a great football player, but in the circumstance of playing against Florida, the better team should beat talent every single time. Just like with the Anthony Richardson situation, we had the talent, just not a good football team.
If anybody got to worry about our defense, I feel confident because Jordan Castell, as a true freshman, was a leading tackler. Shamar James played 7 games, was a second leading tackler. Then we got Asa Turner, a headhunter, the guy that's running around with hair hanging down his back. You always trust a white boy with long hair that's playing defense.
Amen to that.
Gotta trust him. So with those 3 pieces already, between coverage and bringing in some blitz packages, I feel like our defense would be better because our D-line was never in question. It was more of where's our linebacker, where's our secondary. Yeah, so I think we're going to build in some pieces. I'm not saying we're going undefeated, but we may go about 7-5, 8-4.
I appreciate it. Look, man, I love your perspective on things, man. I appreciate you calling in, big guy. I got people waiting, though. But thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Y'all take it easy.
Yeah, man. Go Gators. All right, let's bring in the trio. These boys. Hold on, Travis. Sorry, it moved over. Let's bring in the trio real quick. These boys been waiting. We got the professor, and we've got positive sniper here. What's up, bro? What's up?
What's up, gentlemen? Professor?
No, don't come in on here all. No. You can't. No. You've lost the no handshaking, none of that. Straight to business.
All right, listen.
We'll hug after.
This might be ho, 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 like Biden did for 4th of July, or fucking inflation's just high. I don't know. I'm irritable. All right. I'm glad you brought me on the show this evening, Shelton.
Are your balls full, Chris?
No, they're not.
Just asking.
All right. Full release, full send. Been a long weekend.
It feels like a reasonable question.
Touche. Listen, man. All this conceptual shit that everybody's talking about, I just don't get it. I understand conceptuals, right? Whether we're talking costing or some other shit, but bringing Ron Roberts over to help out Austin Armstrong's like putting lipstick on a fucking pig. I mean, shit. What have they shown the last 2 years to just, no, year 3's it. We said the same shit last year. You know when Billy fucked up? I'll tell you. He tried to be nice guy year 1 and retain a bunch of shithead players that Mullen had recruited that were like really highly rated but didn't really pan out. And he tried to make it work. And it ended up just effing him, right? We made bowl eligible with Anthony Richardson, right? It's still a shitty season. And I went to most of those games. Just like last year, I went to most of those games. And just like you talked with Monday with Stephen Harris, the energy on the sidelines, bro, like, just Napier needs to take his ass to church and talk about God and his dad, because that's that's what he's good at, right? He's just not an SEC coach. Like, as bad as I want him to be, He's got Lagway. I'm gonna hate to see Lagway go, but Billy just needs to go on, man. Like, this is not Florida football, and I've been going to games for 10 years.
If you're the athletic director, who do you go and get though?
Man, there's a few guys. I don't think Lanning.
Hold on,
I don't think he leaves Oregon. I don't think he. Huh? What's that?
Okay, I lost signal there. But hold on, real quick, because I don't want to get into like what ifs. I feel like we're in this world where I want to hear what people have to say and kind of grow on it. I like your thought process on, again, that first year. I gave him credit for it, right? Not coming in and burning a bunch of guys that he probably was going to get rid of anyways, right?
Correct.
But he stuck around. He played nice guy, and in a sense, he wasted a year.
Correct.
In all reality. So to us, it's his third year, but to him, he really kind of put his teeth in the second year because he tried to come in and make face, and it ended up burning him anyways. And look, I think we keep saying it. Nice guys finish last. And what the biggest thing I keep hearing from everybody is like, I like the guy. Even Brando's like, great guy, great coach, love him. But does he have the? It's crazy. I watch these shows and just about building something. And unfortunately, we live in a world that if you want to step up, you've got to step on somebody, whether you like it or not, or whether you want to hear it. It's a nasty world. Somebody's going to get stepped on. And I feel like Billy, which we all try to do, is trying not to step on somebody, but there's somebody right next to him that's going to step on him without even blinking. And that's just kind of what's happening here. You agree?
Man, yeah. But he's allowing it. Like Billy, like whether he gets fired or not, Billy ain't gonna lose a minute of sleep, right? Like that's why I don't get the whole pittiness of like it's not fair and all this other shit. Heupel, look at what he's doing, right? Like it doesn't take this multi-year bullshit process that everybody's making it out to be. Like they just had the McDonald's cash full of back, 4 years ago? Like it doesn't take that long. Napier,
oh yeah, the recruiting blunder.
Yeah. It does feel slow. The whole process feels slow.
Napier said it's his way or the highway. Like that's what it looks like, and that's what it is. But like, we are a toxic fan base. Brando wasn't wrong. Like if you're not putting up fucking numbers year two, like get the hell out of here.
I don't know what happened. Like. We were kind of okay after the two tight ends committed, and then Stubbs goes to Miami, which I'm not 100%. That's a locked in 1000% deal. And it feels like the whole thing is just the wheels have fallen off of it.
To me, to be honest with you, I don't give two shits about the 2025 recruiting class right now, because honestly. I know I'm going to get a bunch of shit in the chat for this. I don't think we make it out of week one with a dub. We keep talking shit to Miami like they ain't got talent. They got more talent than Florida does. And I think we're going to get fucking bullied on the line.
You're going to get me shut down, Chris.
Hey, man, I'm being honest, bro. Like,
no, they have some playmakers on the defensive line. Bain is the real deal. That kid's a stud.
Their O-line is as big as our O-line. I just think Billy fucked up year one. It's coming back to year three to bite him in the ass. It's too late. Our athletic department gave us the hardest schedule in college football history, and we're really expecting Billy to come out with a winning season with his approach as his operational excellence that he preached about year one and year two. Like, come on, man.
I think a really good takeaway is that first year, right? We kind of overlook it, and I think again that the softball play, the softball approach, is now hurting him. I think that's spot on. So I like your take of, hey, I don't care about recruiting class, because ultimately I thought about it. This is where the Mullins class was when Billy took over, right? Because Mullen went into his last year kind of probably in the same mindset, same type of era. He didn't recruit well anyways. But that class was like 40 or 50 when Billy stepped in, and I think Billy got it up. And that was that Trevor Etienne class, just so you guys are aware. But he closed a lot of guys in February, which we don't see too many guys signing that late anymore. That was kind of the last year of it. But he was able to come and salvage somewhat of that recruiting class. So that's where this class feels like it is right now. Because again, I mean, everyone's obviously taking advantage of it. It's always a thing, but with NIL and agents, these kids know more than ever, and they hear like, yeah, Billy's back's against the wall, and why go there? But let's move on from recruiting real quick, and then so the season, you're not feeling confident with. We were just talking to Hollywood. Feels the talent on the football field's going to be there. Feels like we're bringing a lot of talent back, but you're not feeling good at all about the season.
No, man. I mean, I'm still going to be there.
The hell,
right?
Am I getting hacked?
You there?
There we go.
Yeah, it's fine.
Weird.
Okay.
Yeah, I got hacked. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah, man. As far as season outlook, bro, I don't think it's going to be that good.
Can I ask you this real fast, Sorley? Do you feel better about the new strength and conditioning program?
I mean, I think they got a redneck in there that is strong as shit, and he motivates the guys.
What more you need?
Yeah. No, man. I mean,
so you're feeling pretty good about it. That's all I need to know. Are you going to the games this year, Sorley?
I am. Yeah,
so,
man.
Sorley, to be honest with me, because you and I talked almost after every game. You went to a lot of the games. I think it was after the Mizzou. What game were you at? The Mizzou game. After the Mizzou game, you felt pretty confident. What game was it for you? Like you were like a believer. Like we were like crying on each other's shoulders. Like I'm gonna put you on blast real quick. We were like, we're gonna get through this together. Like you were all in. What happened? Then you went MIA for like 5 months. What happened?
It was the FSU game, man.
Okay,
Have you
the
went
last
back
game of the
and
year.
looked at like his speech after that game this past year?
His presser?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, man. Y'all go listen to that shit. Like, I don't know, man. Like, Billy's he is a nice guy, Christian man, whatever. He's just, Ron Zook was a good guy too. Y'all remember Ron Zook? Fucking phenomenal guy. I've met him a few times. But he wasn't right for Florida football. Kirby
Sorley,
Smart is
you
right
are
for Georgia
firing
football.
up the chat right now. They hate your ass.
Good. I hope they take a damn screenshot of all this shit. I was in their shoes last year. Shit. But
Look, I vouch for Sorley. The reason why I bring him on here, this guy's been a ride or die. Calls in one of the biggest fans that I know. This guy travels literally across the country to go to every game. I think he just like disregards his family during the season. So like, you guys are kind of shit on him, and I understand why, because he's talking a lot of negative, and it's exhausting. I hear you. But the reason I'm also listening to him from a genuine perspective, because this guy, no joke, last year was on your side, was arguing with every hater known to man, like would put his 401k on Billy.
The South Carolina game.
Yeah, like this guy was bought in. So look, I think what I'm trying to just get a gauge of, it's July. We're talking ball. Just getting a perspective. We're Florida fans. We're crazy. We're upset. We're fired up. We want to talk about it. We want to vent about it. Everybody has a valid opinion here. Let's not shit on somebody because Sorley's wrong at this particular time. It'll be okay.
I'll be at the Miami game.
Fired up, rocking the orange and blue, right?
Win or lose, yeah.
You're gonna be wearing the new Beat Miami shirt on hightopsport.com, right?
Yeah, if we win, bro, I'll drop a $200 dono on the freaking Collins show.
Hey,
but if we lose, $100
dono.
No, if we lose, bro, I'm gonna go back through this chat and I'm gonna look up all these YouTube names and I'm gonna flame everybody, bro. Because I told you so. Billy Soft, Merch ain't the answer, and I'm just gonna go drink a beer. So
I love it. Sorley, you were good, man. I appreciate you, Bubba. Good talking to you as always. He's not even gonna say bye. He's gonna just Irish goodbye us. That's what he does. He's pissed because I said goodbye to him this time. Travis Wilson, what's going on, big dog? Talk to me.
What's going on, man? I know it's been a while since I've seen you, since the FSU game. You like my hat, by the way? It's the one we wore at the A&M game last year.
I love it. We won that game.
I want to tell you, first of all, I appreciate y'all. I like to watch y'all and Allie and Gator Dave and the Read and Reaction guys and Brandon. Y'all are about the only ones I watch, really. As far as recruiting goes, I just want to say I'm almost kind of feel like ETN at this point. I want to see Florida win some games. I think that would help a lot. I know Billy's trying his best. I know we want to see him get fired up, but I want to see, back to the Tim Tebow. I know we keep talking about that. I know we keep talking about Trask and all that, the defense. But I think a lot of these players out here, regardless of NIL and all this other stuff, I think they just want to see Florida win some games. What I think, I mean, just who wants to be a part of a 5-7, 5-6 season? Every year, and like ETN, I hate he went to Georgia, but I'm just seeing from his perspective too. Who wants to be on a losing team? I mean, even though we're all bought in and all that, but I just, I'm ready to see Florida moving forward, and I think a lot of these recruits just want to see where they're going. Another thing, I've been watching. I love how you think we're going to the national championship. I love that. I'm with you on there. But I just it's gonna be tough this year. I think Mertz. I think the reason why he didn't go downfield a lot last year was because he didn't necessarily have the weapons to do it. I mean, we had Eugene Wilson, we had Slick Rick, but them were the only two basically. I mean, I know we had the tight ends and what's his name, Jackson or whatever, do a few good plays, but I mean, but now that we got this Badger kid, which makes me excited because he's following in Ricky's footsteps, and then this other kid, what's his DK or whatever his name is, that came from Wisconsin or wherever Mertz come from.
Yeah, Shamir DK. Yep.
Yeah.
Wisconsin.
Yeah. They I really think that them two would have a connection. I feel better about the offensive line. I want to see Big Dez move forward this year. I mean, I seen, this is his last year. If he's going to do something, he's got to do it this year. I know he's rotation. He's the biggest dude we have. If we could get Billy to just find all these 450-pound guys, and put them all on the D, we wouldn't have no. If they're fast or anything, we wouldn't have no problem running. Letting people run by us if we could just catch them. Have
Sure.
all the slender guys on the outside. And I want to see the defense do some tackles. I'm not too worried about the offense. I think Mertz is. I want to see him do some more Tebow stuff. Like we seen when he got hurt. He put on a little weight. Like I told you, it almost looked like he looked like Tebow at that one. That one clip running through that dude. I just hope he don't get hurt this year.
Sure.
But we got Lagway coming in. I'm excited about that. And look at the weapons he's going to have. A lot of these guys step up. If we have a decent season, I think a lot of these players just want to see Florida winning. I don't care the season. I don't care the schedule. I think that based on recruiting and everything, I didn't get to watch the Orange and Blue game, but based on the highlights, I think this Ball kid we got from Arkansas, I think he could easily replace ETN. I mean,
sure.
you have Montreal as the big back. You have Montreal as the big back, and then you have this Ball kid, and then we can't forget about our boy Webb. OPM takes a step forward. But I really hope the defense just does something. I really enjoy watching, Muschamp's defense. We took away a lot more interceptions. It's almost like the years of Muschamp. Our defense was unstoppable. And then we couldn't get that going on offense. And then we finally had that one okay year with Trask. I think we could have won the national championship that year if our defense was worth the flip, because, I mean, our offense, they were unstoppable. But, I mean, that's just the way the ball rolls,
For sure. Well, look, I think it was a nice refresher to get a chat with you after Sorley and his pessimism. You're feeling
I don't know about that guy, man. He's like, well, I just don't know, But if I were to give a prediction, we got to start off early. We got to start off early. I mean, heck, we almost beat a lot of teams last year. I know the Arkansas one was the poor executed one. I really like the changes that Napier brought in, helping bringing in this guy to help, Armstrong, what's his name, Roberts. That's his teacher. That's his guy. And I'm glad they have that connection too,
Sure.
That way they can work together. We got these NFL guys coming in. I hear, just by all of y'all, that they're meshing. That's why it was important. I think that's why a lot of times we didn't do so good on the defense is because they just weren't meshing. And
Sure.
not only that, but just to build the team. Billy's got all his players in now. We don't have no more Mullins guys. It's like, what's your excuse now, Billy? I mean, like, you know. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pumped up. I'm optimistic.
I love it.
I just want to say, if we could at least just make a bowl game, I think we'll be on the turnaround. And I really hope, when these guys do go in the draft, I hope they do good,
For
because
sure.
we're going to be missing merch. We're going to be missing, Badger and all that. But think about these young guys coming in, and then who don't want to play with DJ Lagway? I mean, if he's as what he says he is, and I don't know the guy, but if he's a Tim Tebow, Cam Newton guy, who would want to play with that dude?
For sure.
I just
No,
hope we got the offensive line and the defense to help. You know what I mean?
I hear you, man. Well, Travis, I appreciate you calling in, man, and give us your thoughts and opinions. Always a pleasure. Be sure to call in during the season once we get them W's rolling, man. I appreciate you. Go get
Oh
it, brother.
yeah, man, and I appreciate being back on here. And like I said, I just wanted to throw out who all I watched. I enjoy your enthusiasm, and I
Appreciate
like
it, man.
Gator Dave and the reaction guys. Will's always a hoot.
Those guys are
But
great, man. I'm honored to be in that company, man. They do a great job.
yes, sir, and y'all have a good one, and go Gators.
You too, man. Go get it, brother.
All right, man.
All right, boys and girls, we've got some high top royalty here. I'm expecting an absolute banger of a take here. Oh, hold on, Cali. You're not up yet, Cali. Sorry, Cali. That was my bad. False alarm. That's my B. That's my B. That's my B. Terrell, Mike is yours. Mike is yours, man.
Hello, how you doing?
When we doing better, why don't you tell me how everything's going, man?
I mean, Happy New Year! Congratulations on all the success. I'm ending the ending of my off season, getting into football mode. NCAA's coming out. The Florida Gators season about to start. So
Preach.
I saw the little tidbit. I got the notification you were going live talking about the upcoming season. I said, why not join in, give a couple of thoughts on how hopefully this can be a successful season and what we need to do to accomplish that. So I guess we can go from there. First thing first for me.
Hold on.
Yes, sir.
First things first.
Yes.
Let's get right. Who are you gonna run on Dynasty?
Florida University. No matter what.
You're not gonna take like a Buffalo or
no. I mean, I played NCAA so long. I've always stuck with Florida. Now that it's integrated to online and you can get friends and all type of stuff. I'm assuming like most of my friends will take like the big schools, the Alabamas, the USC's, the Georgias. But I mean, it depends. Like I don't got a lot of time as I used to. I got a family now, so my time constraint is a lot more. So I'm gonna try to get as much I can. So I'm gonna stick with Florida for the first couple of seasons of the dynasty and see how long I can keep it going if my wife allows it. Let me put it like that.
Gotcha.
But as far as the University of Florida football season for the season of 2024, how do I project it going? I'll say I project this going. I'm optimistic more than some I've heard tonight. I project this going 8-5. That's me.
8-4.
And the reason 8-4. Excuse my apologies. 8-4. What? 8-4 for the regular season. Hopefully, we can win a bowl game, so it'll be 9-4. But my reasoning is Billy has 3 years of installation on the offensive side of the ball, and you know me. I don't care about the defense. You can win games in college football with piss poor defenses if you can score points. Like you can make it exciting, you can make it competitive, and you will bring a lot more to the fan base, right? No one wants to see the 3 yards in the cloud of dust offense that we've been running the last couple of years. I'm hopeful that when he promoted the tight end to coordinator, that he has installed some of his plays. And we obviously didn't see everything in spring. Hopefully you bring in the DJ Lagway. He's come from an open style of offense in high school. You're not gonna, even though he may not play a lot, but you're not gonna rein his talents in, which is throwing the ball downfield, getting on the edge, getting on the perimeter, read options, all that type of stuff. You're gonna implement that with Graham Mertz, and hopefully Graham Mertz can push the ball down the field. We brought in 3 or 4 receivers. We get a little more explosiveness from the tight ends. We got running backs. The O line should be 3 times better than it was last year. So I'm excited for the season, man. I'm not as down as some would think, right? But I'm excited. I feel like we have an opportunity to go 8-4, excuse me. It just depends on how we get out. I think we need to go 3-0 the first 3 weeks of the season. If we don't go 3-0, then that's when you don't know how the team's going to respond to the adversity of losing a couple games that we probably should win. Like Miami's crucial, right? You see what I'm saying? We're both in the same predicament. 2 coaches in year 3. Both had some up and down first 2 seasons. This is the game for recruiting rights. You see what I'm saying? A lot of things are going to be involved in this, right? So I think it's crucial that if we got any not trick plays, but if you got anything you've worked on all season, all the because you know how I feel about Billy. Billy can script the first 15 plays better than any coach in America, damn near, right? So every series should be scripted out to a T for this game. Like, this should be the game that he coaches his life on, because this should springboard us to beat, and I forget who we play week 2, but this should springboard us to beat who we play in week 2. Then I think we play Kentucky or somebody week 3, right? A&M has a new coach and all that type of stuff. So that should be, hopefully it should be easy win. Even are we playing them in the Gainesville? Or are we playing them in College Station?
It's in Gainesville.
We got the home. We'll have the home crowd on our side. So those games are must wins. And then when we get into the heavy hitters of the season, I feel like we got to spring the upset or 2. We got to beat LSU this year. I feel like that's a must, right? Because they don't have a quarterback. They got Nussmeier. The weapons aren't the same, right? The defense was horrible last year, right? Those games. I feel like we gotta stay with Georgia for 3 quarters. This is the improvement I'm thinking of. I don't think
we got to beat Kentucky.
Got to be Kentucky, yes. But those the biggest my points of improvement. Staying with Georgia for 3 quarters. We play Texas this year too, correct? Or we play Oklahoma?
Yeah, in Texas. No, Texas in Texas.
Staying with Texas for maybe I think Texas is a lot better than people think they are. I think they really probably will win the national championship in my eyes. Staying with them for a half, keeping it competitive with teams that have a lot more talent than us at the key positions. I feel like staying with them and making the games competitive will show me a lot. Because some of these games, we get to these games, and you can see it after the first series, the first half, the game's a wash, man. We're over, right? At that point in time, we're just out there playing.
We're playing catch up.
We're playing catch up. We're just trying to run the clock down. It's like Pop Warner. They just running the ball to run the clock out, because there's no mercy rule type of thing. Like, I want us to be the competitive, getting us to situations where they got to scratch their head about going for it on 4th downs, because we may get some momentum, stuff like that. I think that's his biggest points of improvement. If that doesn't happen at this point in time, like, I mean, I don't know how much longer you can stick with them. You see what I'm saying? I would love for my last big piece of information for the season. My question for you guys is, how, if the season goes, say we start off 3-3, when do we see Lagway for the rest of the season? Because I'm a Lagway guy. I'm gonna say you play him as early in the offense as possible.
I don't think you do. I don't think you throw a true freshman in to ride out the SEC grind. I think we saw that with Bo Nix, and it did giant damage until he got to Oregon with his self-confidence. He was seeing ghosts. He was throwing bad interceptions. I'm not for a true freshman ever starting in the SEC.
So this is my question. So this is my question. If we say we 3-4, right, and the season's going downhill, if you're Napier, the only way you save your job is if you show that DJ Lagway is who we think. Yeah,
that was.
And like there is no other way. At that point in time,
could
right?
It's not even. It's about job.
It's about job security at that point in time, right?
Yeah.
There is. So my thinking is, he has to get reps early and often with his goal line packages, 3rd and shorts, mediums. You can't hold him. He's that talent. If the season starts off bad, that is the only thing that the fan base can hold on to, because we don't want him to transfer.
Yeah. I get that. I don't think we lose games because of the offense. I think we lose games.
If he calls the offense the way he's called in the last couple of years, we'll lose games because of the offense.
We've always lost games because of defense.
This is what I'm saying. But you know, going into some of these games the last couple of years, the defense has been shitty. Excuse my French. We knew the defense had its holes. We knew it was communication issues. We knew we were lackluster on talent. But some of these games, we had enough. We had enough. If there's a call here, a call there. Like, you know how you just have a call, a great feel of being a play caller? Like, I don't want to say he's not a great play caller. He's a great script play caller. The first 2 drives, he scripts remarkably. But it comes in that 3rd, 4th quarter. Once you ran your best 15 plays, how do you bring those 15 plays back in the game and set up things off of those things? I feel like we could have scored points in situations last year when we did not score points, or we got conservative, or we didn't take shots. Like we didn't have enough shot plays where we need to max protect and go like that. I feel like the onus is on him this year. We cannot be middle of the pack with a senior quarterback, with the top 3 quarterback in the SEC coming back, with the weapons we got. Like you cannot be averaging 27 points. You need to be in the 35-point range. You see what I'm saying? 40-point range.
I think they will
consistently. That's the key for the season for my mind. I'm not putting the onus on the defense. I'm putting the onus on Billy. You see what I'm saying?
I agree with what you're saying.
This is his season.
There's plays where it's like we had an opportunity to step on their throat, and the defense just could erode the momentum. Look, I think the defense needs to improve, but with the defense we had last year, we didn't put the defense in a good place to perform. We put them in a position where they had to be a top 10 defense, and they weren't. But the offense had the ability to where they didn't need to be that. And that's what I agree with what you're saying there. Like,
I'll give you a prime example. When you look at Georgia, you don't look at Georgia and say, oh, man, they're going to be the most explosive offense in the world. You know what their offense is? They're not going to make mistakes. They're going to run the ball. They're going to take their shots. But the defense is the staple. We're going to produce All-Americans, NFL draft picks. What is our identity? That's my question. What is the identity of Florida? Under Urban Meyer,
we don't know yet.
Tebow, under Will Muschamp, great defenses, horrible offenses. Every other coach and under Urban Meyer and Steve Spurrier, offenses. Under Ron Zook, he's a hell of a recruiter. You see what I'm saying? And then we had these coaches where we don't have identity. Even Dan Mullen, great offensive schematics guy, could score all this world, but didn't want to do the dirty work, the grinding work, the recruiting. Like they had an identity. What is our identity? We've been so on offense and defense, and you have to stick to something. That way you can recruit to that. You can recruit, say, man, we know we're going to put up 50 points a game. Now let me just go get the best defensive coordinator in America, whatever, if we don't have that already. Not saying that Ron Roberts / the young guy, I can't think of his name, it escapes me at the moment, can't produce a better defense, but we have to have something to sell people. And right now, I don't know what he's selling, but he's selling a decent enough job to keep his job, to keep everybody invested recruiting-wise, but this has to be his year where he says, I'm a great OC. I'm a great play caller. I've given the reins and I've incorporated more spread into the game plan, because he cannot just come back and just keep running me the ball on 1st and 10, 2nd and 8, no play action, no creativity, you can create plays in college football where dudes get open and consistently open, because I see it every week. I'm not saying we need to be spread and do all that type of stuff, but you have to implement some hurry up. Like we get a first down, step on their neck, go get a touchdown. You catch them in a bad personnel situation, hurry up, go to the same play 3-4 times. If the inside zone is working, run it down their throat, make them call a timeout, make them fake an injury, do something to know that what we're doing is working. Because right now we have scripted plays that work remarkable, but everything else, it seems like it's tough. It's very tough to get the second half of the football game going offensively. And the defense, I'm just hoping that they are communicative. They understand what they're supposed to be, and they're more reactionary. They're less thinking and they're more reactionary. That's my key. If they can be less thinking and more reactionary and play off their instincts, I'll be happy with the defense production moving forward.
So I'm going to say this real fast. I think that the two, so they had Rob Sale as the co-OC last year, right? And then they had Billy Napier. I think those guys are ultra conservative. Rob Sale wants to run the ball. He's an offensive line coach. There's nothing that gets an offensive line coach's cock harder than when they can run it 10, 15 yards down your throat, play after play after play after play. I'm going to say this. Callaway comes from the air raid. He wants to sling the ball around the yard. I will be excited if we start going 4 wide, start using our wide receivers, using our tight ends more. I think we're going to see a next evolution of this offense with Russ Callaway bringing in some potency and some aggressiveness. Not too much, but enough.
Yeah, I hope so. That's my biggest thing. We need to find an identity within the coaching staff. Like we need to be known for something. Like all the prominent programs are known for something. Like Steve Sarkisian, hell of a play caller. What's the defense? Who's the coach at Oklahoma? He was known for having great defense at Clemson, Venables. Obviously Georgia. Now the coach of Alabama, he was a hell of a play caller and offensive coordinator and head coach at Washington. Their offense has gotten to the national championship game, right? You see what I'm saying? Michigan, pounding ground. They're going to run the ball. Ohio State is going to have explosive offenses, hell of NFL wide receivers on the edge, and great quarterbacks who are dual threats, right? What is Florida right now? That's my key. If this year we can have an identity and get to 7, 8 wins, I'm like, okay, we headed in the right direction, and we got Lagway Lagway in behind, who's got some meaningful reps. Maybe not starter rep, but meaningful reps. You see what I'm saying? To at least show some promise for the future, type of thing, right? I feel like he can maintain and hold his job. If those things don't come to fruition, like what we're in neutral. We're stalling. What are we, right? You see what I'm saying? We're back into the who was the coach? Not who was the coach before McElwain era? Like, even though McElwain offense were decent, so to speak, but like we're stuck. We're not advancing and keeping up with the times, right? And then it becomes a money race moving forward, right? Are boosters really going to be investing money to see 6-win teams, right? Who can blame somebody over that, right? That's the key. Find an identity, get some explosives on the offensive side of the ball, and defense. Be in the right position. Be instinctual, use your instincts and make tackles, and just bend but don't break. I don't expect us to come out here and have a top 5 defense in America, but we shouldn't be getting blowing assignments, getting beat over the top. We should be in the right position, and maybe we just don't have the playmakers on that side of the ball to make the play versus everybody, but we're in these games. This shit, I don't want to see any 21, 31-point blowouts, or teams running the ball in the second half to chew clock just to get us off the field. I feel like a lot of these games, we need to be in these games in the third and fourth quarter for us to see real progress. If not, then at this point in time, I mean, the administration has to do what's best for the University of Florida, right? And
Sure.
and that's the downside, right? Because with the transfer portal, you probably lose a third of the roster, if not more, right?
Oh, more than that.
Oh, yeah.
Probably half.
I'm just
I think
saying hypothetically. I'm just being on the
Yeah.
safe side. Let's say a third, right? But the most important piece you won't want to lose is Lagway. So in my mind, I mean, who you replace him with is going to say a lot, but he'll probably go to A&M. It's close to home, you see what I'm saying? And that coach has only been there 1 year. So you at least know he got 2 more years with him probably, and he can hire an OC that may suit his skill set better. So that's what I want to see, progress in offensive identity and
I think you
progress.
nailed on the head with identity, Drew. I think that's going to be good stuff. And
I
look,
mean, you have to think about it. He has, what is he offensively? He showed us things in spurts, but nothing has been consistent, right? A lot of year. Let me say, a lot of year one was Anthony Richardson making a lot of wild plays that kind of took him off the hook, right? You see what I'm saying? He would escape the pocket, the Utah game, rolling out, making somebody miss, making miraculous throws or breaking tackles and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That's Anthony Richardson's skill set. Graham Mertz, a lot of this was dink and dunk, 5-yard plays. Like, you can max protect and take shots, right? You can create stuff, right? Or the running game, right? But that's the key. Have an identity that the University of Florida can lend its head on and say, this is what we are moving forward for the next 5 to 10 years with Napier, and everyone can be excited and have a little more vigor about it. Because right now, it's a lot of even keel. No one's overly excited. Everybody's a little timid, not knowing what the season's going to bring. But like I said, I'm optimistic of 7-5, 8-4 type of thing.
I love it. Terrell, pleasure as always, man. You get the chat fired up. I love your takes, man. Thank you for calling in as always. Can't wait for the season to have more of these conversations, and hopefully they're exciting and optimistic like you're feeling they are.
You too, man. Congratulations again on all the success. I'll see you when the season starts.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you, Bob.
See you, Bob.
Look, I think what's going to be cool. I think what's going to happen here in the next, we're like a week away when NCAA 25. We got one more call before you go, but when NCAA drops, we're going to get a feel of the playbook, and everyone's going to have a ton of suggestions. That's going to be a good time. But real quick, let's give a shout out to our sponsors. BetterHelp. This show is brought to you. High Top is brought to you by, or sponsored by BetterHelp. This year's gone by so quickly. What's something you're proud of in 2024 so far? What's something you still want to accomplish this year? Life goes by fast. It's important to take a moment to celebrate your wins, make adjustments for the rest of the year. Therapy can help you take stock of your progress and set achievable goals for the next 6 months. Like I said, BetterHelp, I've talked about it time and time again. Each show, very thankful we're able to team up with these guys. Somebody that you're able to go and talk to, right? Sometimes you get lonely. Cody calls me. We're able to chit chat with one another, having a friend, having somebody to kind of just brush some things off, talk to. That's what BetterHelp offers, because not everybody has that ability to always call somebody and talk to somebody. It's very convenient. It's online. It's affordable. Lines you up with a I can't think of the word. A therapist that fits based on your questionnaire, and you can switch at any time. So if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Take a moment, visit betterhelp.com/hightop today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/hightop. Mr. Ray has been waiting his tail off. Talk to me, fella.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
What's up?
Yeah,
big
so I'm obviously, first off, big pleasure to have me on here. You probably don't even know who I am. We've talked a little bit before at one of the Gator Collective events way back when. That's how far to go back.
Cool, man.
I kind of work behind the scenes on Twitter. I'm way more active on Instagram. But what I was going to say about the season, I'll be brief because I know we're getting toward the end of the show here. There's a very
Oh
I'm
no.
not losing him.
Maybe switch off of Wi-Fi or something.
And Ray, I can't hear you, boss. We're losing you, big fella.
Oh, hold on. I know what happened. It's my headphones. Can you hear me now?
We're
yeah,
good now.
way
Rock
better.
and roll, baby.
I can definitely see us starting off, 4-0 to start the.
Oh no. Ray.
Dang it. Is it StreamYard?
You be glitching out too, big fella. All right.
Let's
I'm
move
gonna
the
pop
next
him out.
bring him back on.
Yeah, he's gone. We lost him. Tonio.
Yo, what's going on?
What's that? Is that the blinker going?
Oh yeah, I'm driving the truck.
What's up, man?
Yeah, I just wanted to call in real quick. I understand the other guy was talking about the offense and everything, and I mean that sounds good, but the main reason why the offense wasn't, going as potent as it can because of the offensive line. We couldn't take no deep shots because the offensive line was not blocking. When you seen every time we tried to take a deep shot, Mertz was on his back. So it's pretty clear that we gotta block. So so that's one thing I'm waiting to see is that with the transfer portal tackles, and we're gonna see what Austin Barber gonna do, and how well can we pass block. So that's one thing I'm waiting to see. But other than that, the defense was definitely the biggest problem on the field. It was definitely a lot of things we could have did better on defense. Main thing was tackling, because a lot of times we was in good position. It was just nobody couldn't tackle.
For sure.
It was just horrible.
No, and again, we talked about it with a bunch of people. Again, the play calling on defense never really seemed to be completely horrible. Will Miles pointed out that our aggressive play calling was a little too aggressive, but it just felt like we just have people in the right spot but not able to make a play. And I feel like we've addressed those issues on the people we brought in. Now, will those be fixes? That's why we're talking, right? Because will those replacements fix the issue that was at hand last year?
Right. So that's why I got us. I believe the offensive line gonna get better, but depending on how good the offensive line or how better they get depends on how great the offense look. And tackling, how good the defense has started tackling and being physical up front. I believe that's the thing. So I got us optimistically going 9-3, and if nothing gets better on the defense and we take a step back on offense, then it can probably be a 4-8. So it really depends on. I really feel it's more defense than offense. Can we hold the block on offense, and can the defense tackle?
It's crazy because it does seem simple and it's not much, which is I think the reason for optimism. It's like, look, it's the errors were atrocious, but like they should be basic fixes, and that's why I think we're gonna we're on the wait and see for sure right now.
Right, because that's why we was in so many games, but just barely losing. I think we lost about 4 games. That was by one score.
Yeah, it was a handful. So
but
go ahead, Cody.
That's kind of Billy's MO is these 1-score games. When he first, the first year, the raving fact about Billy Napier is he was like 21 and 9 in 1-score games. They kept saying it over and over and over. I don't want to be in a 1-score game. Really, I want to have them. I want to be up by 21.
I agree. I definitely agree with that now.
So Antonio, you're feeling pretty optimistic then overall about where we're at currently.
Yeah, overall I'm feeling optimistic. The biggest thing got me feeling optimistic because we couldn't tackle. So I believe that's the biggest thing on the defense. We bring in Ace Turner. I believe he's going to be a tackling machine. We bring in Pup Howard. They said he did not miss a tackle at all, even though he played backup, but he did not miss a tackle. You have DJ Douglas. He's going to be playing. He's going to have some rotation. He did a great job at Tulane, and I've been hearing a lot of things, a lot of feedback coming out of about DJ Douglas, almost like maybe he should even be starting, pushing for a starting job. So, like I say, just showing up that tackling, man, and I think that's what's going to get turned around. Plus, the addition of Ron Roberts is huge. Because you can see the defense what he did for Auburn. Because Auburn didn't have no offense over there. Their offense was trash, but they was winning defense. They were winning because of defense.
Even Jay Crane came in, so that defense kept them in a lot of games. I mean, that think about that defense. It held Georgia. They played Georgia for 3 strong quarters, and then Brock Bowers and Carson Beck pulled away at the end there. But that game was a nail biter, and it was like a 13-13 game. It was like Peyton Thorne was out there slinging the ball by any stretch of the imagination. That was that defense. And talent-wise, if you want to argue the talent-wise, this is where I don't get the hype behind Auburn, but they haven't recruited a top 15 class in the last decade. So it wasn't like they're just sitting on a bunch of blue chip stocks like Florida is. So there's everything is pointing to where we should be excited. But again, we're just in that era where we're a little nervous. We're trying to lose it.
And it's not like Auburn had a bunch of draft picks either on the defense this year. I mean, he made a lot with a he made chicken salad with chicken shit.
Facts. And that's just another thing that got me more optimistic because of Ron Roberts. He's gonna bring that defense up another level, and we have more guys that I feel like is gonna go up another level. So I'm definitely optimistic.
Well, Antonio, I appreciate you calling in, man. Drive safe, and we appreciate you, man. Go Gators.
All right, go Gators.
Thank you, man. Gravy and Biscuit says, I may be smoking and drinking, but I think this first game against Miami is the most important game in his coaching history. Only because a huge interstate rival, but sets the time for the season. You got to think it's got to be, right? I mean, it's his entire Power 5, Power 4 careers on the line. All right,
can
Ray,
you
let's
imagine?
Go ahead.
Can you imagine if Mario loses the first game, goes into a skid, and gets fired mid-season? And Napier, squeaks by or does a better job, and everybody was pointing at that, Napier was the guy on the hot seat, and Mario gets fired mid-season.
It's crazy how Billy, because of the logo, right? Because of the Florida Gator logo, has more heat behind it. But Shane Beamer, Cristobal, Pittman, they're all in the same heat, same hot seat, in my opinion.
Yeah, Beamer just lost another recruit today.
Who did? Oh yeah, South Carolina. No, he was already decommitted, but he just committed to Georgia. But yeah, all 3 of those guys could be fired very easily, the same way as Billy Napier. And again, nobody's talking about Mario because he's recruiting. So he's keeping the noise down right now. Very good, because they're a top 8 class. So there is no talk of him possibly losing his job because he's countering it with a very effective recruiting class. And this is why the heat's turning back up on Billy, because again, are we panicking? Some people are. I'm not quite panicked yet. Apparently, Gator Dave said that he doesn't think we finish in a top 15 class. He's kind of getting thrashed for his take on it. But again, he's just telling you what he's hearing, what he's feeling. I'm hearing the same things. It's not to be pessimistic. It's not to be negative. It's simply stating what is happening and how things are being felt. And we don't want to hear it. I'm on the same side as you, but you can't just ignore it. You got to talk about it. Emre, talk to me about it. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, guys? Sorry for the audio issues there.
No worries.
So before I go in, I'm a big nerd about this stuff. So if I get too nerdy, just cut me off. I'm just kidding.
Fair enough.
So like the 1-score game thing, I'm sorry, we're going to be in a lot of 1-score games this year simply for the fact that we play a really, really tough schedule. I mean, just about everywhere you look, the Gators have the number 1 ranked toughest schedule, and I think just from an objective standpoint, that's true, right? But I mean,
oh no,
not again.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good, bro.
My bad. Okay, so I think I know what's causing it now. So I was trying to pull up the schedule on my phone. I guess I got to pull up on my computer. But basically, if we play the way we should be playing, we should start 5-0. I mean, I know that sounds like super sunshine pumpy, but our schedule to start the year is like the easiest part of our schedule. We got Miami at home, UCF at home, Stanford at home. We play
A&M.
4 home games. Yeah, we play 4 home games and 1 road game. Our road game should be a gimme. Texas A&M, I just don't see it. I don't see them beating us at home because they have a first-year head coach. They're installing a lot of new things. Napier's in year 3. That should be a game that logically we win. Let's just say, for argument's sake, we start off 5-0. We've only got to win 1 more game to be bowl eligible. And I know as a UF fan, we don't want to hear that, right?
We were there last year too, Ray.
But the thing is, the last 2 seasons, South Carolina was our last win of the season, and that's unacceptable. We're the University of Florida. I don't care who's coaching. South Carolina should not be the last game we win every year. And that's the last game that we've won the last 2 years. South Carolina at home 2 years ago.
We don't play them this year.
I know. Well, unfortunately, we don't. It'd be an easy win. You can pencil it in, unlike Kentucky for some reason. But luckily we get Kentucky after this 5-0 thing that I'm spouting off about. I see our easiest 6th game, assuming we go 5-0, is LSU at home. I'm going to that game, so naturally I want us to win. But I'm also going to the Miami game, so I think we're going to win. But if Billy's going to keep his job, he's got to win 6 games, 6 regular season games. Even if he loses the bowl game, he's going to stay. He's got to make a bowl game. We can't win 5 games again. I just don't see the administration and the boosters keeping him on, even though personally I would think that we should keep him on, even if he wins 5 games, because we got to stick to a coach at some point. We can't just keep spiraling out of control and firing coaches after 3 years. None of them had a 5-star quarterback committed and on the team. In a Gatorade commercial, you know what I mean? At the very least, Lagway is generating hype for the program. One of the other callers talked about hype. The second Lagway comes on the field, I don't care what it is, the swamp is going to erupt, okay? He could come in the second half of the 4th quarter, and we're up 24-23 against Stanford, and the swamp's going to erupt. He's going to play in the Stanford game, no doubt. And I don't care what he does. There's going to be highlight tapes online of him because he was a 5-star quarterback and so on. There's going to be stuff to sell, okay? The reason why our recruiting class fell apart last year was because we lost games. Recruiting is not about wins and losses. It's about losing. If you lose a lot, you're not going to recruit well and consistently. And like I said, UF has had 3 straight losing seasons. You can't expect to compete with Georgia or Alabama or anyone like that when you're having losing season after losing season after losing season. I don't care what the offense or defense looks like. They're just not going to be able to sell it. You know what I mean? It's not going to happen. But again, like I said, I think conceivably for Napier to keep his job, he has to win 6 games minimum. And I think even though we have a tough schedule, I think we can get to 6 games. I think the ceiling is 8 wins. I just don't see us winning more than 8 games, even if we play completely out of our mind. I think Georgia is a definite loss. I'm sorry. I hate Georgia with all my being as a Gator alum and Gator fan and so on. But Georgia is just Georgia right now. Texas, I think, is another one that, we play them on the road and we're not winning that game 1% of the time, probably, assuming that Texas is at full health. Another one that I just vehemently hate is Florida State. If we played them at home, I would say that we beat Florida State. We play Florida State on the road at the end of the year, and, they're going to be in the conversation to win the ACC. I don't think they're going to win it. I also don't think Miami's going to win it either. I think Miami's actually really bad, but that's just my opinion. I actually see Cristobal getting fired instead of Napier. And, I think I see Napier staying, even though, the seat's going to be hot next year no matter what. I think long-term, really, our goal should be in DJ Lagway's junior year. We need to be in the playoff. It's going to be 12 teams by then, more than likely. And
12 teams this year.
Well, what I'm saying is it could be even wider by then, theoretically, because it's going to be expanded to a 64-team field probably at one point, like college basketball. I'm just kidding.
That'd be insane.
I'm just joking. But no, I'll wrap it up and just say one last thing. I'm not a sunshine pumper. I'm very logical. Our recruiting has to get better, but the on-field product, they're symbiotic, right, at this point. The recruiting's not going to get better until our on-field product at least becomes tolerable. If we lose games and we score a lot of points, for example, like the one gentleman was saying, we'll recruit a lot of guys. Or, for example, if we lose a lot of games, but our defense is like, unstoppable, and we stop everybody and our offense just can't score anything, we have an identity at that point. We still don't have an identity, and we're probably not going to have one until DJ Lagway gets up. Like, it's just not going to happen. But Mertz is good enough, very, very much good enough to win us 6 games, and that will keep Napier's job. Bring Lagway in, have a more manageable schedule next year, and then, like I said, in year 6 or 5 of Napier's tenure, that's like natty or die. I mean, we should be recruiting really well at that point, ideally, and we could easily see us, making the playoff, hopefully.
For sure. Well, Ray, I appreciate, man, your thoughts. Look, I think it's cool to, again, that's why I love doing the call-in shows, to get like a pulse of where everyone's at. A lot of positivity outside our few negativities, but I appreciate, man, calling in and giving us your thoughts. Please be sure to call in during the season too, when we get, when we're getting rowdy, when we're.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, I'm going to the Florida Victoria stuff, and hopefully we can catch up in person. And if we're either going to drown our sorrows at tailgates, or we're going to.
Either way, we're going to have a good time.
Of course.
All right, boy. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Go Gators, everybody.
Go Gators.
I mean,
you win the right 8 though, you're in the playoff with this schedule.
I think so too. But guys, we got a special treat to close on the show. Like, this is why you follow High Top Sports. We got Gator legends calling in. Like, what? You know what I'm saying?
What's up, big dog?
What's going on, boss?
You tell me, baby.
Chilling, man, chilling. Hey, who was that last guy?
Emre.
We got to fight. We never say we're gonna lose to Florida State, so I just want to put that out there.
Hey, Ray, I messed him here.
It's all love, Ray. It's all love.
Hey, no trash bag. He's a big dude. Right,
yeah, nah, man. Just sitting back, listening to all the fans, man. Just getting the poster, Gator Nation, seeing where everybody's heads at. It's about what I expected. Just from a lot of people from the outside looking in. So it's just good to see what the perception is. But I could just, from me, just, my experience and seeing what we're doing and what's been going on, I believe we're going to be better than a lot of people that are on the optimistic side think. Just from, we got way more depth. We got a lot of young guys that played that are getting better coaching. And then just with that depth, with better coaching, you're going to get a better outcome. I know we struggled offensive line blocking, which was caution for throwing some more deeper passes last year. But you got to look at the way we played up front with the defensive line. And, that was, in my perspective, it was lackluster. Not saying we didn't have the talent, but I would attribute a lot of that to coaching. It's rough to say. I never like to question coaches and what they do, but just seeing the product on the field and then hearing from the guys, it was coaching. You know what I mean? So if they were doing that in practice, you had to imagine the offensive line wasn't getting the best efforts either. So
sure.
if you don't get to a game and turn it on, and then now our offensive line are seeing defensive lines that know what they're doing. You know what I mean? So you get that all this offseason. You had it in the spring. We get into camp with Coach Chapman and those guys getting the defensive line to go at it with the offensive line. You're going to get a better product on the field. The offensive line to be better prepared for blocking because they're going against guys that are really getting after it now. So all that's going to be a lot different. And you don't know that just from the outside looking in. You got to kind of know what's going on in the inner workings and stuff like that. But I can tell you these guys are working. The technique is getting 1,000 times better. And so all that goes hand in hand. That's why I was saying, like, with recruits, we got these top offensive linemen coming. You got LJs. You want to practice against those guys because they're going to get you better. If you're going against LJ every day, you have no other choice but to get better. If you come in as a freshman or a sophomore going against that guy every day in practice and y'all live out y'all career together. So just from my perspective with the depth that we have, even when it comes to recruiting, we got so much depth. And now with the guys getting paid and stuff, you really got to do your work. It's not just about the talent anymore. Some of these guys, not questioning any of these kids. What you call it? I'm not questioning their character, but you want to make sure you're getting the right guys to fit your program. And I like what Billy is doing just from going there and seeing how the guys are responding and how the team is responding and how they're talking and their mentality. Florida is not a place where we want to keep throwing coaches around every 3, 4, 5 years. We're building something that's need a long legacy and a solid foundation for a long time. If you just go visit the school and look at the facilities and what we have, that's not something where you just want to open your doors to anybody. I don't want to be that school that had 10 coaches in the past this because we just impatient. You know what I mean? And sometimes it takes a little while to work, but with everything they allowed Billy to implement there, with the extra coaches he brought on, the guys to help handle the NIL and all these things, it'd be foolish in my mind to throw that out the door next year. If the record is not what we want, but we were right there. You know what I mean? We got some young guys that I know going to play this year that are young and freshmen. We're looking for more freshmen to play this year because everybody's excited about them. And we just had a lot of freshmen play last year. So what do you know what I mean?
The youth is what excites me, like you mentioned, with the Jordan Castells, right? The DJ Moore's not young, but he hasn't played much. Those guys that we saw kind of really step up last year that had to and probably didn't have the best development either, which we talked about, which now will have we'll want to believe they have better development. That's where you want to be. It's young, like just electric talent that deserve to be on the football field, paired with a ton of veteran experience in the Asa Turners, the Douglases, the Triquezes from Oregon as well. It's something we haven't had in quite some time. A young, upcoming talent like an Elam, right, surrounded with experience as well. And I think that's where there's reason for optimism. But I mean, look, I think it was cool, right? Like that's why I love doing these shows.
Yeah,
I mean, everyone has their thoughts, and again, you're close to the program. We've had you on when you went and visit, and a lot of older players. That's kind of the same narrative. Everyone feels good. They like the vibe, which again, everyone can like the vibe, but we need to see. But right now,
still gotta go out there and win them games, man. Listen,
gotta win the games. You know what I'm saying? It's just I'm tired of winning off-season trophies. I mean, I'll hoist them. Don't get it twisted. I'll hoist up an off-season trophy with the best of them. But I
just believe we're gonna be better than a lot of people, expect this year. Not the people that are optimistic. I mean, pessimistic. Those guys, I believe we're gonna do a lot better than they think.
Sure. Well, Mr. Harris, I appreciate you, man, calling in on a Sunday.
Yes, sir, man. Major love. Great show, man. Love you guys.
Man, as always. Love you, Bubba. Be good, Bubba.
Hey, y'all get them Beat Miami shirts too, man.
Yeah, I got you. But sell some more. You're gonna keep getting
I'm telling them we need the fans to go support and get them Beat Miami shirts.
We've sold like 11 so far in like 3 days. Pretty sweet.
Let's go, guys. Let's go. Go get them shirts, man. They're at the High Top.
HighTopSport.com. We can't afford the S. Let them know, baby.
Yes, sir. Much love, man. Go Gators.
Go Gators. Army Sniper says $5. Being optimistic is good for the heart. Being realistic keeps you ahead. Cody, closing thoughts, and let's wrap her up, baby.
Yeah, man. I think we're just Gator Nation is just clamoring for football, right? Like we just need it so bad. I think the college football game will help a little bit, but I think we're just in the rut. We want to see some pads pop. We want to see us hang, 52 on Miami. That's what we want. Obviously the Stubbs thing to Miami kind of sucks. I don't think, like I said, that's a locked in deal, but I think you win 8 games. Boy, you're in the playoff. I think you're really working something special. Lagway gets some reps. We're going to be cooking.
Yeah, look, I think the college football game is going to do a lot. We're going to be able to get our frustration out, right? Blow some steam off, get some W's in there, yell at the play calling a little bit, play with the boys a little bit. I'm pumped to stream that almost every night, and really, there's gameplay tomorrow. I'll probably do a reaction to that. I'm gonna really kind of double down here in the next month because that's all we got right now. Because everything's kind of cold. So it's a great opportunity. We got SC Media Day. So we got some stuff. It's going to start feeling like football. We're here, boys. So I appreciate all 200 of you guys hanging out with us this night on Sunday afternoon. Smash the like button.
Can I ask you one question? What week was it that Billy Napier went crazy for recruiting?
It was
last
June,
year.
June 10th, 11th, 12th.
So
We're
we're a
way
little
past
we're a little bit behind, but it still could it still could pop off like that.
I love where your head's at, but we'll see. I love you guys. Good night, boys.
See ya.